Hey guys, Life in China with Patrick. This is our last day in Qing Ao Wan. So far we've been on vacation for about 6 days, so we got about another 18 to go. No, not 18, 12 or 13, I forget. I'll have to say that Qing Ao Wan is probably, it's like every place I go, it becomes my favorite. First it was Hainan, Wanning in Hainan, and then a couple other places in Hainan, and then we came, this is our first time here on this island, and I have to say I like this beach the best. It hasn't been as crowded, and of course it's not as close to Chinese New Year. Once we get closer to Chinese New Year, the actual couple of days before and after, the beach will probably be packed, but probably not as much as Hainan though. And I've been having a total blast here. The food has been excellent, not too spicy. In Chongqing, there's a lot of spicy food, so I have to be kind of, and not that I don't like spicy food, but I just have to be pretty selective about it. Otherwise, I'll get heartburn, and I surely will feel it the next day. So the food has been great here in Qing Ao Wan. I bought a drone, as you guys know, my first drone to ever buy. It's a DJI Flip. And I have been flying it up and down this beach. I think the furthest that I went down using my RC controller watching the screen was about a mile down the beach. I was so freaking nervous that I was going to crash it or it was going to go into the water. But fortunately DJI makes it really easy to fly their drones. A couple of nuances that you got to be aware of when you fly it. Like, don't put it in sport mode, which is like the fast mode, when you only have like one bar of battery left. It ran out and it says returning to base in 10 seconds, and you lose control of it from there. And it took control of itself, and it went over, and it was going right over the trees, and I thought it was gonna land on one of the trees, these high pine trees that are kind of over there, and it didn't. It just kind of went right between them and landed on my hand. So little sweating bullets for a few moments. So anyways, I wanted to show you, this is kind of a wrap-up video of Qing Ao Wan. So I wanted to show you from where we were staying from a beach perspective. We're staying in this building kind of on that side. We've got one room there for Toy and I and the kids, and then on the other side we've got another room for our mom and dad. So this is a really nice hotel. It's less than a 10-minute walk from the time that you go down the stairs through the garage and kind of meander your way through here and go down this elevator. It's really convenient. I do want to find out how much these look like homes. I don't think they're rentals, and most of them are not built out. But I went on the deck of this one right there and looked at it. I was thinking, how awesome would that be to own a house like that right here on the beach and be 3 minutes, down these stairs, and next thing you know, you're on the beach. How awesome would that be? Yeah, foreigners can buy property here in China. There's a big, I'm on X quite a bit. I've got my own. By the way, if you're not following me on X, it's at Bowden 2023 Life in China with Patrick. But there's a lot of trolls on, misinformation about China and foreigners being able to own property. And foreigners can own property. I know quite a few foreigners that actually have their names on their house. My name is actually on one of our houses. So that's misinformation when you hear that. You can actually own homes here in China. The difference is, like in America, you own the property itself. Here, you don't actually own the land itself. That's what you own the land in America, but you continue to pay property on it. Here, you don't have to worry about that. The government owns all the property, but you buy the apartments on the property, and that's yours. So, if you ever come across that, just to keep that in mind. One of the really cool things that happened on this part of the trip is we found a church, and I'm gonna actually wait till I get home to edit the video because I think it's really important that people see this in the Western world, because they've been told that there's no churches in China. All churches are underground, and we fight this all the time. We fight this battle. It's just not true. It's not true at all. There are churches here in China, and there's not pictures of President Xi Jinping on the wall. I walked into a church here in Qing Ao Wan, and it was a small, very simple church. I met the two pastors. One was a male, the other one was a female. I met them, and the female pastor, she spoke English relatively well. And so we started talking about, faith and that kind of thing, and what God has done for us, what Jesus has done for us. And she goes, "Can you sing?" I said, "Horribly." She goes, "Can you sing Amazing Grace?" And I said, "Well, why not? Let's try it." So she looks up the words to it, the lyrics. I should know it by now, but I said, "Well, look it up," because I was just stalling, trying to figure out if I want to do this or not and sing in front of them. But she pulled it up, and we sung the first chorus. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. That shows you how bad I sing. But we did it, and I got chills on it. And I looked over at my wife, Toitsui, and she was tearing up. She was really getting moved by that moment between myself, the two pastors up there on the near the pulpit singing. And then we talked a little bit more. I did some filming, which I'm going to upload inside the church. And then we prayed. I prayed for both pastors, protection over them, that God would put 1,000 angels around the church, and that they would give them the resources and the money to feed and help the homeless, that kind of thing. And I'm not telling you this because I'm, some kind of righteous dude. I'm so far from it. I'm thankful for what Jesus did for me. But it was such an edifying moment and very special part of the trip for me. And it's going to be exciting for me to share it with the West, because they think that kind of stuff, many people don't think that kind of stuff happens here in China, and it does. It happens all the time. So keep that in mind when you see something about underground churches and Chinese suffering under the hand of the CCP regarding religion. It's just not true. Make sure you're doing your due diligence, your research on what you hear in the news, because most of it, what is said about China, is not true. The U.S. government allotted like $1.4 billion for anti-China propaganda. I mean, that's it. That's in the news. You can do a Google search on it, and you can see that's happened. I think before that, there was a $500 million approval where they were using that money to pay people to talk badly about China. And I know it seems like I'm a shill, but I'm not a shill. I don't get paid. I make jokes about it on my Twitter account or my X account. I even got pictures that I got Grok, the AI, to draw up, that showed me in a varsity jacket with CCP and skeleton, with a skeleton, our skulls and crosses, just to mock the people that always call me a CCP shill. And I always tell these guys, okay, if you think I'm getting paid, can you tell me how I'm getting paid? Do you have access to my bank records? No, you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't see any deposits. You wouldn't see any deposits from them. But I make fun of them, and I'm going off in left field, and I should probably just kind of wrap it up here. But guys, let me just tell you, you have to come out to China. You should travel to China. If you don't have the money, maybe you take a loan out on your 401k, because it'll be worth it. Just spend 10 days here, 2 weeks, if you can, and you'll really see a China that you never thought existed. I mean, look at this. These people are having a great time on the beach. It's inexpensive to travel. You've got high-speed trains everywhere, not necessarily on this island because it's so small, but on the mainland, you've got 48,000 kilometers of high-speed train tracks, and that's cheap. There's just so many conveniences that you have here that you do not have in the Western world, in the United States. You come here, it'll change you. It changed me. It changed me in so many different ways. It made me really look at all my faults and how I was, how I had all these preconceived stereotypes because of Western media. And even that, I have found myself, my first year or two, I found myself really judging the Chinese and just the little things that they do that are different than you would see in the United States. I mean, there are just some social norms they do here that we wouldn't like in the U.S. But you learn to look past those things, and you look at the heart of the Chinese people, and they're beautiful human beings, and they have come from. I was talking to my wife about her life growing up the other night, right on the speech, and I asked her. I said, "What was life like for you? Did you guys get vacations like this?" And she says, "Never. My parents never had a vacation. They might have a couple of days off for Chinese New Year when everything was pretty much shut down." She said, "But they didn't have weekends. They worked on the weekends. They worked 12 hours a day. They had a convenience store that kind of had everything. They had like food, groceries, milk, beer, cigarettes. They even had hardware items." But she says they didn't have it. And I said, how do they feel about doing this together as a family? She goes, "They're ecstatic. They're very grateful for me and Toy as hard as we work, and to be able to bring them with us. They're just very happy and grateful." But what's funny is they sacrifice so much for us. I mean, they watch Keanu and Guoguo a lot. They help us get them to school on time, and they help pick them up, that kind of thing. They're kind of like the daycare, and that's a whole nother subject, but that's something a lot of the parents do, or the parents of the parents that have kids or grandparents, they help take care of them. And it's a very close-knit, family-centered culture, and I love that. And you would see that if you ever had a chance to come out here and see what China's like. But I can tell you, I hate to tell you this, but in 2 weeks you're not going to learn everything about this culture, and you're not going to appreciate everything about this culture. But you come here for 2 weeks, that 2 weeks will go back with you, and it will stay. It'll stay with you, and it'll change the way that you view your own country, and it'll also make you appreciate a lot of things of your own country. I know this has been somewhat of a rant, but this is a recap of our stay here in Qing Ao Wan, and just some of the things that I wanted to share with you. We still got a bunch more videos we're going to be uploading, so if you have any questions, requests, and feel free to make any comments in the comments section. Give us a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe if you like our channel, like the content. It's kind of no nonsense stuff. Just film it and then upload it, and I hope you appreciate that style. Either way, guys, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.